Good morning, BN3A. So I hope you're feeling good. So before we start our class, let's pray first. Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord as we say, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So good morning again, everyone. So how you feel today? Can you react an emoji on how you feel today? Wow, that's really great. I've seen that you're all good. So now, by the way, I'm teacher Liza, and together with,
Teacher Zaire.
And Teacher Tiara.
and we are the one teaching you all today. So, teacher Liza prepared some class rules. Okay. So here are the class rules. The first one is be on time. Join the class promptly. So it means do not be late in our class. And then mute when not speaking. So when you don't have anything to say, you need to mute your mic. Avoid background noise. And the third one, respect others, use polite language and behavior. So bullying is not allowed in this class, okay? And then the fourth one, stay on topic, focus on class discussions and tasks. And then the last one, cooperate with classmates, work together and help each other. So you need to cooperate with our activities, not just in your classmates. Now we know our class rules. We can focus today on what we're gonna learn. Today, our learning objectives are at the end of the teaching and learning process, the learner shall be able to identify the concept of digital or cyber literacy, demonstrate safe and responsible use of digital tools, show awareness of harmful online behavior and responsible information sharing, and observe kindness and respect in all online interactions. So now that you know our learning objectives, let's warm up our mind with some activity. So teacher Zaire are the one will handle it.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. So thank you, Teacher Liza, for introducing me. And now we will going to have an activity that could warm up your minds about what is our topic for this morning. So, okay, can you please next slide? Okay, so the name of our activity is called Cyber Blitz, and the direction is okay. So the instruction is please do listen, identify digital or cyber literacy concepts provided in the activity. It is composed of true or false, multiple choices, jumbled words, and a short scenario activity. So this activity has multiple rounds and provide your answer in the chat box of the Google Meet or write it in any paper available to you. So please do the kanang what is instructed in our game, so answer you can answer as much as possible, no, sakay sa ari naman ta sa Google Meet sad. Okay, so number one is number one is true or false. Is sharing your password with a friend safe? Okay. Okay, so I see Daisy. Okay. Oh, yes, very good. It's false. Let's see. Okay, so the second number, please do next slide. Okay, so it's a jumbled letters. So can you decipher these jumbled letters? Okay, I see April. Okay. Oh, privacy. Okay, is it correct? Okay, very good. Please give um them virtual clap. Okay, next round. Okay, a very short scenario. So I will read the scenario for you. You receive a message from a stranger offering a free online course, asking you to click a suspicious link. What do you think is the risk presented in scenario? Okay, I see Angel. Okay, so is it phishing? Next slide, please. Let's see. Okay, phishing. Okay, very good. Give Angel a virtual clap. Okay, next slide. Jumbled letters again. Okay, who wants to answer? Who wants to answer? Okay, Tiara. Ah, okay. Verify. Let's see if that is verify. Okay, very good. Please give Tiara virtual clap. Okay, next. Okay, multiple choice. So this one's easy. Kinara siya kapilian. So what is the best way to verify the accuracy of information online? A. Trust the first website you see. B. Cross-check multiple credible sources. C. Share it immediately on social media. Okay, I see Cassandra. Okay, letter B. Cross-check multiple credible sources. Let's see. Okay, so give Cassandra a virtual clap. Very good kayong DE-Ed. Sus, kasayon naman di ay. Okay, next. True or false, Hassan? Cyberbullying includes sending mean or threatening messages online. Is it true or false? Okay. Yazen? Okay. True. Okay. Very good. Please to give Yazan virtual clap. Next. Okay, a scenario again. You see your classmate posting private photos of another student without their permission or consent. What cyber issue is this? What do you think? Okay, Aizel? Cyberbullying. Oh, now, let's see if it is cyberbullying. Okay, very good, Aizel. Give Aizel our virtual clap. Oh, cyberbullying. Next. Okay, we're down to our 8th number. Multiple choice. Which of these is an example of phishing? So, A, an email from the bank asking you to reset your password from a suspicious link. B, a friend sending a funny meme. C, a software update information from a verified source. Okay, I see. Jo. Okay, letter A. Let's see. Okay, very good. An email from the bank asking you to reset your password from a suspicious link. Now, to the okay, jumbled letters. Unsa kaha ni? Please do identify, decipher these jumbled letters. Okay, Leonor. Security. Let's check. Okay, very good. Sus, kadali ram dayaning kuan jumbled letters. Okay, so thank you. Next, last number. Jumbled letters again. So kanisha is taas-taas. So, what do you think is that word? Okay, Archin, you're raising your hand. Okay, digital citizenship. Let's see. Okay, very good. Digital citizenship. So that wraps up our warm-up activity for this morning. So now I will give the floor to teacher Kiara for the continuation of our discussion.
Okay, thank you. So before we proceed to our topic, I have a short mini activity. So I hope you listen and participate to our activity. So our activity is called, please. Okay, so our short mini activity is called Cyber Dilemma or Quick Decision. So what kind of activity is this? So all you need to do is that you'll be given a 60 seconds or 1 minute to read and decide on their immediate course of action. So you'll send a letter, or maybe you just raised your hand, and if you already know the answer, and then of course once you've raised your hand, please just chat it in the box, or I will call students to explain their answer. Okay, so I have scenario number one. You receive a direct message or DM on social media from a friend, and then the message says, "Hey, I was just locked out of my account and I need your help. Can you click the link below? It's just asked you to log in quickly to verify that I'm still on your friend list. If you don't, I'll lose access to everything." So, which action do you take first? Is it A, B, C, or D? Just kindly raise your hand. Okay, Ninya, what is your answer? Correct. It is letter C. Please give a virtual clap to Ninya. So in scenario number two, you're scrolling through your social media feed and see a post from a friend. It includes dramatic headline, a blurry image, and claims to be breaking news about a new, incredibly dangerous virus spreading rapidly in your local area, recommending an unusual and untested home remedy. The post has a lot of shares but no links to official news sources of health organizations. So anyone? Okay. Um, yes, Erich. Okay, let's find out if it is letter A, B. Oh, yes, it is letter A, the answer. So search for the new virus outbreak and the home remedy on official health organization website or reputable news sites. So based on the scenario 1 and 2, what was the most important action you had to take before clicking and sharing the post based on scenario number 1 and 2? Anyone? Please raise your hand if you have the answer. Okay, Bia. Yes, correct. It is think critically or post and verify if it is a scam or fake, or is it real or a fact. So next question. What is the biggest consequences if you make a mistake in scenario 1? So if you make a big mistake in scenario 1, what will happen? Anyone? Yes, they see. Correct. Your password or your digital identity will be stolen, and then the thief will have access to your money, friends, or your data. So in scenario number 2, why is it dangerous to share unverified information even if you are just trying to help your friends? Anyone? Yes, they see. Correct. It spreads panic or ruin trust, and can lead to like the government official or the health official instead of replying on the suspicious channel. So these skills we just discussed is like protecting your identity, spotting scams, and verifying information don't just cover one type of knowledge. They define the entire topic of how to be smart, safe, and responsible when using technology. So this is what we call digital literacy or cyber literacy. So this will be our topic for today. So let's give a round of applause to a virtual clap to those people who answered. So I will give the floor to Liza, who will discuss about the digital cyber literacy.
All right, now let's talk about digital or cyber literacy. Now let's talk first, what is digital literacy? So what is digital literacy? It is the ability to use digital devices for communication, expression, and problem solving. It is communication because we can communicate with our friends, families, or those loved ones that are far away by using digital devices. And then expression because we can express our ideas, we can share our photos, our videos, or anything that you want to share. And then problem solving because um it can solve our problems when we get hard or naglisod jud ta kung unsa jud ni siya, so atong i-search, and by that it can generate ideas. So it means knowing how to access information, use technology safely, and avoid rest. So that's what digital literacy. Now, what is cybersecurity? It protects systems, networks, and data from cyber attacks. Attacks may involve stealing, changing, or destroying information. Like kanang pareha ng mga viruses nga makaguba jud sa atong mga laptop, computer. So naatay cybersecurity para ma-secured ang atong privacy, data, or those personal information. And then how to protect yourself online. The first one is monitor behavior. Think before posting. So hunahunaon sa nato kung before ta mo post sa usa ka butang, atong hunahunaan kung worth it ba siyang i-post. Dili ba ma-dangered ang atong kaugalingon kung ato ni siyang i-post. And then keep devices safe, update software, and antivirus. Kung wala kay kanang antivirus, you need to download some antivirus para maprotektahan imong computer, laptop, or even your cell phone. And then use strong passwords, unique passphrases. Just don't use like your birthday. You use your birthday as a password, your pet name, or anything that is easy to know with other person. Like kung magkuhan kag password, needed nga unique siya. Unique siya per ikaw rin makahibalo kung unsay password nimo. And then the fourth one, which is avoid unsafe contents. Don't click suspicious links, especially if someone would send you some messages nga i-click na siya kay makadaog ka or something nga i-click na siya para ma-revive imong account sa una. Just don't click anything. And then the last one, think long term. Use the internet responsibly. We can use internet every day, but think responsibly, and also you need to have some awareness on how to use that. So it's better to be safe than to regret. That's how to protect yourself online. Now let's proceed. So what is cyber citizenship? So cyber citizenship, like a citizen, like us. It means being responsible, respectful, and moral when using the internet. Not only on the real life, but also in social media or in online platforms. We need to be responsible, respectful, and moral. Always consider consequences before posting or sharing information. Una-unaon sa nato nga, unsa kay consequences ani kung ako aning i-post. So cyber citizenship means being responsible citizen, respectful, and moral. And then let's proceed. So how to be a good cyber citizen? First, be careful and critical about what you post. You need to be mindful on what you post. Think before you post. Second, resolve problems privately instead of posting online. Dili needed nga ma ma-involve ang laing tao sa imong problema. Kung family problems, ayuhon as a pamilya, dili i-share sa social media para lang na masulti ang laing tao. It's better nga ma-resolve within your family. And then the third one, which is use the internet for learning, but always cite your sources. So we can use internet for learning, but always be careful to those sources nga atong gipang click. Wala ta kabalo nga mapunta dita sa dili day maayo. Diba? It's better nga ma-safe ta kaysa naman magpataka tag-click ara kay para lang makakuha ta og idea kung unsa tong gipangita. It's better nga nagapon kay awareness when it comes to use internet or some devices. And then here are the 10 commandments of teacher cyber citizenship. So if you are a teacher, you need to act professional. You need to be responsible because children would see kung unsa kapag katawo, makita nila, sundo nila kay tungod teacher man ta. So that's how teacher do. And then the first commandment, which is do shall not post any personal matter, confidential information, obscene pictures, and messages online. Dili ta magpatakag post like what I said a minute ago. Like, para ng personal matter, personal information, obscene pictures, like kanadjong mga pictures nga dili angay makita sa bata. It's too revealing in ana. Kung mag-post man gani sa imong private account na lang, nga way laing makakita or something nga mga adults ray makakita sa. And then the second one, those shall not respond to personal messages created by students other than school related. We need to know our boundaries no as a teacher jud. Kailangan dili ta magpataka og respond samot na sa itong mga estudyante. The third one, those shall not lend or let students access your cell phone. Atoan naman ang mga gamit. So, dili jud pwede nga ato ipahiram ang ato ang mga gamit sa ato mga estudyante. Kay nampoy mga important information ana ug wa ta kabalo kung unsaon sa ato mga estudyante kung makuha ato nga mga information. Okay, let's proceed to the fourth one. Thou shall not give your email password to students. Di po ta magpatakag hatag sa atong mga password bisan unsa pa nga password pa sa ato galing as a teacher, di ta magpataka og hatag atoan ang privacy. And then the fifth one, thou shall not use concepts and information without the author's citation. So if we use other nga hinimo, kailangan nga naa jay sources kung asa nimo gikuha. And then the sixth, which is thou shall not post pictures of students without consent. So karon kay medyo strict na jud kaayo, di ta magpatakag post pictures even makita ilang nawong without any permission with their parents or with them. And then ang ikapito, those shall not express sentiments and disagreements using social media accounts. Dili ta magpatakag post like mo express sa itong mga kagalingon, like nakaaway nga estudyante, pero as a teacher, di pud kaangay mga estudyante kay tungod ikaw may mo disiplina nila. Pero kung nakay kasuko sa estudyante, di po nimo angay i-post. Kailangan nimo sila sultian para makabalo sila kung unsa ilang pagkamali or kanadyo ilang mga mistakes. Okay. Let's proceed to the 8 commandments. Thou shall not use data from internet sources without the author's consent. So, di po ta magpataka og kanadyong mo use og mga data without author's consent. The next one, those shall not give any personal data or others information without consent. O di ka magpatakag hatag sa imong personal data. And then the last one, those shall not post any student data publicly online. O dili ta mo patakag post sa mga ato mga estudyante samot na ang mga data nila kung asas nagapuyo unsa silang full name. At i-post sa online, dili na siya pwede. That's all the 10 commandments of teacher cyber citizenship. You all need to keep that in mind. So let's proceed. So what is internet safety? So sayo na jud ni siya. It protects personal information, privacy, and property. O safe internet, kay tungod natin internet safety para maka-scroll ta without danger, di ba? It means trying to stay safe online. So, it is needed nga kung magamit tag social media or any digital devices, we need to stay safe online. We didn't do any harm to other people's online. So that's how internet safety. So now let's proceed to
to continue teacher Liza's discussion. So now we have personal safety and threats. So this is the rise of the internet gives people access to any information and for communication. So and also internet provides us way of communication in our lives. So while it allows communication for people, it also being used by malicious activity or bad intent. No, it is true that um, though it is very advantage for us people who uses internet for communication, but also this is kanang nag-give sa ni siya og danger nato. So ang kaning internet sad is makabuhat sad ka diri og mga bad nga kanang actions, makabuhat og kanang mga malicious activity towards another people. So here are the following threats to personal safety. Okay, to begin with, the cyber stalking. So threats to personal safety, cyber stalking. So in cyber stalking, it is the use of internet to stalk or harass an individual through false accusation, threats, or gather information that may be used to harass or embarrass. Cyber stalking, it is about knowing someone without you as a victim know that kay bao po siya about nimo. So kaniyang mga cyber stalkers ani is mag-gather ni sila information nimo, then ilang himuon nga kanang ilahi kanila sa ubang tao. So na sila ihatag nga mga information nga dili di ay sakto sa imuha. So dili di imuha na ang information. So the next threat to personal safety is the cyberbullying. It is the use of electronic means such as social media, many platforms, email, or other form of online communication. So ang cyberbullying, it is an abuse to abuse and overpower an individual or group. So mo sa ato pa, it is kanang muhatag ni siya og kanang kadaot sa uban. For example lang, kanang Facebook. So, uso man jud ang kanang mga hate comments, mga false accusations, no? So, the next threat is online predation. So, online predation, it is an act of engaging an underage or minor into an inappropriate sexual relationship through chat rooms or internet forums. So, ang kaning online predation, muni sila ang ilahang mga target aning mga online predators ani. Ang target nila is mostly underage, mostly mga minor, mga bata, no? So, we have to be careful, no? We have to have awareness jud. Kaning mga online predators nga naghimo aning online predation is na-categorized siya into 3. So, which are the so nakategorize ang online predators as three groups. First, we have the manipulative. So, based on the definition, based on the PPT that we can see here, is that it is typically a child molester. So, muuna ang mga target sa mga manipulative online predators. Ang manguan sila og bata, mo na ilahang target. Next is the opportunist. So, kaning opportunist, kaya ang target pod ani nila or sila being as online predator usa sila ka rapist. So it is a very, very dangerous no word palanggani daan rapist. So we have to be careful no to let our children engage into such big platform, big technology. So next is coercive. Muna siya ang kanang combination sa both duha sa manipulative o sa opportunist. So mo ni ang both rapist o child molester. So kani siya ang pinaka-danger nga ma-encounter sa kanang usa ka bata ang ka coercive online predators. Next is the obscene or offensive content. So various websites on the internet contain material that may be offensive or explicit. Content may be seen in many ways, such as pop-ups and suspicious links. So, as what teacher Liza have said, no, earlier, no, kay obscene, kanang mga inappropriate, dili jud angay nga kanang ipagawas, mga offensive nga makadaot jud siya, kanang bisag wala ka na igo, but then offensive siya as a as a whole. Next is sex extortion. So it is the use of webcams for flirting and cybercrime. So this threat is very dangerous. No, as kuan palang daan naggamit og webcams para flirting, para cybersex. Maybe those videos are recorded sa mga online predators para ihatag nila, i-demand nila, ipagawas nila para mangayo sila og kwarta. Mo na ilahang tuyo og tumong why nganong nagbuhat sila og ingon ani why ilahang gi-record. So that is the threats to personal safety. Please next slide. Okay, so there are also computer threats, no? Computer threats and fixing solutions. So a threat in the context of computer security that refers to any potential risk that causes serious harm to the computer system. So these threats can be viruses. These viruses may enter and can spread from computer to another computer in multiple ways. Daghan jud siya paagi no para ma-spread ang viruses. Okay, now next. Okay, so there are kind of following ways for us to know how to ensure that our computer network systems can be protected and safe. So number one is it is very important if you have a computer, a technology, a devices, etc. You should have in your computer antivirus software kana para ma-prevent ang pagsud sa mga viruses, computer viruses. And the next one is ensure that the antivirus software is up to date. Yes, kay nga naman. Lahi-lahi ang generation sa usa ka computer. So lahi-lahi ang pwede nga masud sa usa ka ang ma-install sa usa ka computer. So need nimo nga naa kay antivirus nga kanang fitted ana nga computer system. So next is employ firewalls to protect networks. So ang kaning firewalls di ay kay more ni siya kanang musud ka sa usa ka balay na ay door. Then naay kaduha nga door. So kanang naa siya kanang more protection pa gyud ba. Sunod is kaning filter all email traffic. So this kani nga way no para makahibaw ta ma-feel protected ang ato ang computer networks kay naay specific na link ang nagdala og virus. So let us be aware of the .exe, .com, and .scp if I am right. So kana sila nagdala na sila og mga viruses sa imuhang computer system. Okay, so the fifth one is educate all users to be careful of suspicious emails. If you have the knowledge nga mag-give nimo sa uban, nga i-educate sila para dili nila mapislit, ma-open ang kana nga attachment, ang kana nga email so that dili mo dili ni siya makasud nga computer virus. The next is scan internet downloads. So ang kaning scan internet downloads na imong gi-download gikan sa internet and in which not all in the internet is credible enough para kana protected ka. So next is do not run programs of unknown origin. Yes, you should be careful enough to know the websites na nga imuhang gisod if it is credible, if it is kanang reliable enough nga imuha siyang i-open sa imuhang computer system. You should be aware of this. So next is the implement a vulnerability management system. So you should have these management systems no kay para dili bitaw kanang dali-dali nga masud ang imuhang computer system. So mag-agi pa siya og layers of security. Next is make regular backups of critical data. It is very important nga i-back na kay other backup sa imong mga personal data kay wala ka kahibaw if kana day imong kanang computer is nasudlan na og computer virus. For example of this nga pwede nimong masudlan sa imong mga information or mga files is the USB. So it is very kanang handy gamay jud kanang USB and kanang kuan kina nga daghan ka og masud ana nga mga files nga kanang possibly na naapod sa imuhang kanang computer. So next is develop an information security policy. It is important to have this kanang kuan implemented no kanang information security kay para makahibaw ka if ang kanang mga information nga nisulod sa imuhang kanang computer system is secure enough para kanang imuha siyang i-let nga ipastay sa imuhang computer. Next is monitor logs and systems. Yes, you should monitor kung kinsay ni-log in sa imong unsay ka mga systems na imuhang kuan sa imuhang computer. So the next is develop an incident response plan. Kanang it is very important nga naa ni siyang incident response plan kay para makahibaw ka ug unsa di ay mga lackings nimo. So the next one is the last number I think it is restrict end users access to the system. So you should restrict those end users because they might have those viruses nga maka-infect sa imuhang computer viruses. So if you restrict those end users, so you are also restricting the entering of viruses in your computer. Those are just ways of how you ensure that your computer system or networks can be protected and safe online. So we have cyberbullying. So what is cyberbullying? So what I have said earlier, it is a kind of harassment or bullying. So cyberbullying, cyber harassment, or online bullying is a form of bullying or harassment using electronic means. Yes, cyberbullying and traditional bullying is similar to each other. So if traditional bullying lang, makahibaw man ta kinsay nang bully nato, no? Makahibaw ta kinsay nagstorya nato og bati. But in cyberbullying, in which electronic ra ang paggamit niya, internet, computer, kanaray paggamit, wala ta kahibaw. Maybe because ang ilahang name nga gibutang sa ilahang kanang account is anonymous, wala ta kaila nila. Maybe kanang kuha na sila kanang mga nag-steal og information, nag-steal og mga identity, and let us be aware na dili jud ta kanang ma-victimize ani nga kanang bullying. Next is naay two types of cyberbullying. Yes. So naay internet trolling, naay cyberstalking. So internet trolling mo ni siya ang pinaka-common nga form of bullying nga mahitabo sa online, sa internet. Ang imuhang intent ang pag-bully nimo niya or ang pag-embarrass nimo niya is intentional. Like intentional nimo nga gi-provoke siya, intentional nimo nga yung ana imuhang reaction. So that is internet trolling. So the second one is cyber stalking, and I have already talked about this. So harassment or bullying that uses electronic communication to stalk a victim and pose a credible threat to harass someone. Yeah. So for example na lang about this electronic communication, no, na manawag nimo unknown number, then nitubag ka. Yawa ka kay bawong stalker dito nimo, no? Nang true gipaagi ra sa stalker sa online communication nang ni tubag ka, unknown number, tubag ka. And then pagtubag nimo ni state ang katong kanang criminal, ni state ang katong person nga kay baw ko sa imong pangan, kay baw ko asa ka nagpuyo. And kay baw ko na ako'y information nga ipagawas og dili nimo mahatag ako ang demands. So that is a kind of cyber stalking. So mo ni siya ang kanang pagharas sa usa ka tawo gamit ang electronic communication. So next is so there are also implications of bullying in schools. Yes, it is very common, traditional bullying. So maybe there are also cyberbullying, but kanang we don't know if naa ba jud because students are prohibited to use gadgets in school hours. So schools should initiate should implement also various anti-bullying programs and campaigns because or to protect those students from being threatened or victimized by such offense. Yes, it is very important nga naay anti-bullying program ang usa ka school para ma-protect ang peace sa usa ka bata. So we as a teacher should also be trained and or kanang oriented how to handle bullying cases. The next one is so what is cybercrime? So cybercrime is any criminal activity carried out using the internet or computers. Yes, as the kuan pa lang ganida ano cybercrime. So it is criminal activity nga nag-use og internet, other devices, and technology. So ang kaning cybercrime di ay is defined by as defined by Techopedia, if I am not wrong, is a crime no in which ang computer ang object of the crime. So mo ni ang computer ang kanang murag soul nga naghatag bitaw og kanang paggamit sa crime, murag tool ba? Tool ang usa ka computer sa kana nga crime. So magamit ang computer sa hacking, sa spamming, and many more. So munjo ni siya ang kanang mga mga ways, mga tools nga makakommit og crime and maka-offend sa uban. So naay categories, no? Naay two categories of cybercrime. Number one is one-off crime, and number two is ongoing crime. So number one is one-off crime. So kani siya kay murag kuan na siya one type of cybercrime ra ba? Like mo kuan siya, musod siya, and mo ra na iyang intention. And kani siya is like installing viruses to steal personal data or information. So mura na iyahang murag goal ani nga crime. Ang kaning ongoing crime mo ni ang kanang nagsigi pa og kanang kahitabo, no? Kaning cyberbullying, kaning extortion, kaning distribution of child pornography, and terrorist attacks. Those are just examples of ongoing crimes nga kanang probably nahitabo karon, maybe nahitabo na ni siya. So next is exploring the internet researching and evaluating the web. So yes, through exploring the internet, we should also be researching and evaluating the web nga ato ang gi-open. So the internet is a global communication network that allows computers to exchange and share information worldwide. Yes, it is very true that it is a global communication network, and this allows any devices na mag-exchange ta og information, data, messages towards others or kanang bisag asa sa world. No, so the most effective way to explore the internet is to have strategies in place for doing research on the web and for evaluating websites. So yes, we have kanang steps, we have effective way kung saan pag-explore ang internet. So we have to research and evaluate. So next, so surfing the web, there are three key factors in surfing the web. So number one is most surfing sessions start with the user targeted keywords about the subject into a search engine. So you as a person, kinaadjud kay na kay dapat i-search ay nakay kanang knowledge ba unsa imong i-search. So mo to imong i-type sa search engine. So na kay mga targeted nga keywords nga imong ibutang dito sa search engine. So the next factor is good strategies for searching the web include writing research questions, extracting keywords from the questions and synonyms used, and recording the results of the search. So to have a good kanang strategy sa pag-search sa usa ka web kay kinahanglan ka nga mag-write ka og kanang mga research questions, and also if walay manggawas ana nga mga keywords, mga kanang specific word nga imuhang gibutang, so you have to have synonyms para at least wala man gani ang kanang word nga imong gigamit, so na siya sa synonym, maybe mugawas siya sa synonym. Next is always be cautious about the information shared online and in visiting websites. So yes, you should be cautious enough for your well-being in the internet, about the information nga imong i-share sa uban, sa online ba or through kanang personal. So the next one is assessing credibility. So this is where we assess the credibility of the website. Different websites access on the web can be challenging. So carefully evaluate the information searched online and consider the credibility or the trustworthiness of the content. So then there are two types of websites. We have the informational websites and the commercial websites. So the informational websites, these websites offers credible content or information to users. So for example, ResearchGate, no, kanang Google Scholars. So those are credible content or information nga makuha nato when we are researching. Next is commercial websites. So these presents inaccurate data or information in order to see something. So kani siya commercial websites, ari na to makuha ang mga danger, possibly danger sa usa ka website. So kanang makahatag tag misinformation, makahatag tag kanang unreliable nga data sa uban, in which di ay igsud nimo ani nga website ay hala nindot ang mga content but then dili di ay tinuod. So that is commercial websites. So I think that's the last part of my topic.
Now let's proceed to our next topic, which is entitled as checklist, website credibility checklist. So this topic is that we evaluate the website's credibility, and then there are 6 things you should check. So the first one is the author. So as you can see in the picture, that is what you will see if you search in the website, the author. So the author is that you need to check the credibility of the website by checking the author. So by checking the author, you have to know if it is qualified by an author. So next is the date. So of course, you have to look for the copyright information at the bottom of the website homepage or maybe above the homepage. So if the site is more than a few years old and it has not been updated regularly, look for more up-to-date na information. So, kana mga like date na like tag 1990s pa, 2002 pa is dili na siya credible na information because outdated na siya. So of course, you need to check the date if up to date ba siya or outdated. Next is the purpose sa website. So kaning purpose is you need to analyze the goals of the website para determine mo if ang website na gi-post kay informational ba siya or advertisement sa purpose. Because dili siya credible if ang iyang information na gi-post kay mga nag-advertise na siya. So please, sa atong next website credibility checklist. So the third, contact information. So most sa mga credible websites kay nag-list down just sa mga contact information such as telephone number sa author, kanang email address or mailing address sa user or author na nag-post sa kanang information. Is the next is the report fact versus opinion. So ngano ato ning check ang iyang credibility sa iyang website. So of course, we need to check if real ba siya or fake, fact or opinion. So mo ni ang top level domain. So you can see kanang naay nakabutang sa dubaw na https or www.com. So kani kay if you are looking for URL, you need to look for an ending kana nasa pinakaawitan na naay .edu or .org or .gov because kani sila ay kaning mga websites na credible. You need to check if there are biases. So that's all sa website credibility checklist. Let's proceed to our next topic. So next is recognition of sources and citation. So we know what is citation, right? And ganang sources, right? Kaya permit me to discuss ako ang mga teachers whenever we have research or like mga and citation procedures that would get rid of risk. Okay? Of course, if wala tayo proper citation and wala tayo proper citation and kanang sources, possible jud ta na mapiso jud ta kay naa magud siya legal consequences and legal implications na ihatag sa gobyerno. Basta na siya copyright issues. The data privacy implication and protocol. So strong data privacy rules require proper processing of materials, especially copyright content, to avoid legal issues. So of course, as I've said no na, if magpataka mo copy na walay proper protocols or implications and citations, of course, mapriso din mo. Na din siya legal issues na need mo ma-avoid kanang mga importante na mga data. So, of course, kani na siya corresponding legal implications if dili siya ma-process immediately or properly. So, kaning data privacy, kailangan siya practical techniques para sa data privacy. So first is acknowledge the source for data. So when you are getting information sa other work sa author, of course, kinahanglan imo i-acknowledge ang iyang work by putting proper citation or sources. As example sa kaning akong ipakita, which is source NSO 2019. And then number 2, acknowledge the source for pictures like photo credits, photos in 2019. Like, so another example is when you are kanang magkuha kag photo sa kanang original na nag-post, of course, you also need to have a proper credit ana na photo na imuhang gikuha. So third is if data is copyrighted, ask the author's consent. So as I've said, gani ha. So if you kanang copy the other works of the author, you need their consent. So 4 is if data in the public domain, citing or acknowledging the source is sufficient. Then the last one is respect an author's disapproval, often shown by difficulty in downloading or explicit notices. Next, plagiarism. So research protocols and plagiarism. So we all know what is plagiarism, right? So plagiarism is presenting someone else's work as your own. Plagiarism is mo ni ang pag-copy of someone laing work and then ang puno nimo as imuha. So naay ka ng 10 types of plagiarism. Click please next slide. The first 10 types of plagiarism is the clone plagiarism. So kani, it is called an identical copying or identical word for word copying without citation. Nag-copy paste, nag-diretso ra kag copy na paste, wala jud kay you didn't change anything sa imong gikapihan. So number 2 is the remix plagiarism. So can you remix kay it refers to siya sa collecting information from various sources and then mixing it all together into a single document. So next is the control C. So mo ni ang kanang mga significant portions sa text na imong copy from a single source na without any alteration in a written document. So next is the hybrid plagiarism. So mo ni ang combining like perfectly cited sources na documents na imong gi-copy and then imong gi-arrange sa bagong document without citation. So the fifth type of plagiarism is the find replace plagiarism. So changing only keywords and common phrases. Only ang imong gi-usab ang most common keywords niya and then ug ang mga phrases and then sa imong gi-copy na content pero you're not making any changes sa mga initial na documents. So that is fine to replace plagiarism. So next is the recycle or self-plagiarism. So it means borrowing from one's own previous work without citation. You have your own like data or works or researches na imuhang gibuhat and then naghimo na sa kagbag-o but imong gi-recycle ang imuhang work pag sa una. So 7 is the mashup. So mashup plagiarism is copying and mixing content from multiple sources without proper citation. So similar sa sa remix but but the differences is that wala kay proper citation. Now let's proceed sa atong next types of plagiarism, which is number 8, the 404 error plagiarism. Citing sources, but the citations are inaccurate or lead to non-existing resources. So, in other words, is that, of course, yes, let's say na naghatag ka og proper citation, but inig-check nimo sa citation, muadto ka sa laing website, but katong website is kanang non-existing siya, which is wala siya na-exist ba. So, number 9 is the aggregator plagiarism. Aggregator plagiarism is nag-include siya og proper citation but lacking original work. So, in other words, okay, yes, naghatag kag proper citation but the information na imong gi-copy is that walay original work nimo or walay idea na imong gihatag. So, the last 10 types of plagiarism is the retweet plagiarism. Ang all written documents kay look perfect but with properly cited kanang citations. But ang document kay nag-resemble siya somewhere kanang the original text structure or wordings. So in other words, kay kanang nag-proper citation ka but ang work na imong gihimo kay similar siya sa other works na imong cited. So that's all sa 10 types of plagiarism. Since we already know the 10 types of plagiarism, we will discuss about how to avoid them. So I have like 8 tips to avoid plagiarism. So number 1 is to read and understand the original text thoroughly before writing. when you are copying a work, of course, you need to read and understand the text that you want to copy so that you can provide your own idea. Number two is do not copy words or sentences directly. Number three is provide proper citations for all sources online, like onlines and print. And then number four sa atong tip is for online sources, include URL and then references. Number five for the tip is quote and cite common phrases and definition without modification. So number six is always include a reference section. So the seventh tip is cross-verify all citation. So the last tip sa tuwang to avoid plagiarism is use plagiarism software to check originality. So of course, once you're done sa homework, you need to check if it is kanang 100% ba siya na imong gi-plagiarize or 100% ba siya na imuhang idea ra jud. That is all the 8 tips to avoid plagiarism. Next, for our last na topic is unsay maka-impact sa digital literacy integration. So the number one here for the impact of digital literacy integration is motivation. And then the second impact is accessibility. So as we know na through gadget, pwede na ta maka-access to different types of kanang information that we need. So the next impact sa digital literacy integration is creativity. So not like in the past na children can have creativity by kanang just using different kinds of materials. No, but it could be, but but it is such a hassle, man, because there are materials na expensive and it needs money. No, so for our next and last slide, for the impact of digital literacy integration is meaning making. So of course, students are kanang very adept in using technology, and also they are known for kanang like having more knowledge sa paggamit ng gadgets. And then the fifth one is sharing. So of course, through digital literacy, through integrating it, we can easily access and share information like through social platforms. The last impact is job skills. So I have said no, now we are living in a modern era. So of course, through digital literacy, the students will know how to use mga gadgets and also they are literate in how to avoid mga problems using digital gadgets. That's all sa ato ang lesson sa digital and cyber literacy.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Tiara. So now that you learned, always remember it's better to be safe than to regret. And also that digital literacy have impact to our world, not just for us, but to our generation now. The can impact, not just only one, but many. Just like Teacher Tiara said a minute ago. So now, let's have some activity time. So I've already sent you your groups on the group chat. So posibilidad nga nakahimo na mo group chat each group. So kaning activity called mix match message. So I will divide you into 6 groups. So in your assigned group, create a digital slogan and poster combination for your topic in 10 minutes. Make the slogan original and creative, like rhyme, alliteration, or catchy question, and design a visually appealing poster. Use the group chat or GC you create to collaborate. One represents the table, send the final combination to the class GC. Each group will then present their work. Grading will focus on creativity, originality, clarity, and visual appeal. So here are the topics for each group. So for group 1, digital or cyber literacy and cyber security. So you make a slogan slash poster with that. And then group 2, cyber citizenship. Group 3, netiquette and safe use of digital media. Group 4, computer threats and their solutions. Group 5, cyberbullying and cyber crimes. Group 6, internet exploration, source citation research, and website evaluation. So that's all your topic in each group. So here are the rubrics or criteria for this activity. So creativity and originality, 15 points. Clarity and relevance, 10 points. Visual appeal, 5 points. And submission and group cooperation, 5 points with a total of 40 points. So your timer starts now. I will give you just 10 minutes. Okay, time's up. You've already sent your activity to the GC. Very good. Group 1 to 6. You've already completed our activity. But now let's see your work from group 1 to 6 to appreciate your activity. Okay, let's start on group 1. So in group 1, guard your data, guard your world. So I really like your message. I really love the message. Um, Especially those background, it literally suits well on the text. But the text is a little bit smaller. So next time, group 1 or in other groups, you need to have a bigger text that it can be visible to everyone. So in group 1, you got 37 points out of 40. Very good, group 1. Let's give a virtual clap to group 1. Okay, now let's proceed on group 2. Okay, here's the group 2. Good vibes online, be the citizen who keeps it kind. All right. I really love the message, but the background color is a little bit off because it's the same with the text message. So group 2 got 36 over 40. Very good, group 2. Let's give a round of applause to group 2. All right. Let's next group. Group 3. Post like a human, not a troll. Wow, that's a very catchy slogan. I really love the monster and the human that communicate to the monster, which is a very, very good poster slash slogan. Okay. In group 3, the background color is a little bit off also, but that's okay. Overall, it's good. So group 3 got 39 points over 40. Very good, group 3. Okay, let's proceed on group 4. So in group 4, viruses suck, update and duck. Wow, that's a very catchy slogan also. I really like that. And I really love the germs or bacteria or virus, I mean, that shelled to the human. Nag-shelled ang human mo sa virus. And the background color, it literally showed sa text color sa nga red, nga blue. So light ra jud ang background color, which is best yun siya. A clean siya tan-awon. So group 4, you've got a perfect score, which is 40 points. Very good, group 4. Now let's proceed on group 5. So in group 5, kind words win. Trolling's a sin. Well, the message was very good. Nag-spread yung kindness towards online platforms, no? So, very good mo, Ana. Pero, ang background color, it's too dark red siya. Wala siya na compatible sa text color, which is not good to see. But overall, it's good. I literally appreciate your effort, group 5. So, in group 5, you've got 35 points over 40. Okay, very good, group 5. Okay, let's proceed on group 6, the last group. Let's see. Oh, check your Fox site with care. Solve the web aware and fair. That's a little bit too long for a slogan, but it's good. But the color of the background, it's too white. Like it's too simple, but overall it's good. Very good, group 6. Group 6 got 36 over 40 points. Oh, all right. All of the groups very very good jud kaayo kay na kompleto jud ang inyong activity ron. Nakasabot jud mo sa atong lesson karon. So now kay nakasabot naman mo. Let's measure your learning.
So now let's have a quiz. So of course, do not worry because I will give you the Google Form link on our GC, and also I will give you time to prepare for answering the assessment. And you will have, but this assessment will be taking after our class so that you can have the time and to prepare the quiz. And you will answer it only for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, the assessment will be closed. So, of course, after this class, I remind you to please stay active because I will send you the link of our Google Class form assessment. After I remind you this quiz, we will have the assignment. So please don't forget to copy the assignment or take screenshots. So all you need to do is, in a one whole sheet of paper, answer the question in at least one paragraph. So the question is, explain the essential connection between digital literacy and cyber citizenship. So in your answer, discuss at least one specific practice from the lesson that a person with strong digital literacy should implement to demonstrate responsible cyber citizenship. And after you're done, please pass it once we're on face-to-face classes. Now let's proceed to our concluding activity.
Okay, so for our concluding activity, I hope that you have learned something from our discussion today. So this activity will conclude if you truly understood our lessons. Okay, so the instruction is unscramble the letters to form the correct word related to the topic digital or cyber literacy. So the title of our game is called Jumbled Digital or Cyber Words. Okay, so now let's start. What is this word? Okay, Cassandra. Next. Okay, privacy. Very good. So, virtual clap for Cassandra. Okay, next. Okay, what is this? Okay, Wenzel. Key safety. Very good, okay? Okay, so next. Okay, what is this? Okay, Ninya Batuon. Etiquette. Okay, let's see if it's etiquette. Okay, very good. It is indeed etiquette. Okay, next. What is this? Okay, Niña Huerta. Okay, security. Let's see. Okay, very good. Security. Next is, what is this? Okay, Liu Bell, what is this? Verify. Okay, verify. Let's see. Yes, it is indeed verify. Next. What is this? This is kung ano kini ng taas kayo. But this is okay, Roxanne. Cyberbullying. Let's see. Okay, very good. Cyberbullying. Next. What is this two word? Unsa kani sila? Okay. Kisa pa wala tawag. At knowledge check. What do you think? Okay, knowledge check. Let's see. Very good. You have truly understood our topic for today. Okay, what is this? I think this is the second to the last number. Data protection from Riza. Okay, next, let's see if it is correct. Very good, data protection. So we should have data protection with us during or when we use computer or internet. Next, this is the last number, I think. So what is this? Who can guess? Okay, Luella. Digital citizenship. Okay, I think it is. Or it is ba? Okay, yes, it is digital citizenship. So we should possess this so we can be aware of the use of internet. So that's all for our topic for today, and I hope you have understood our lesson. So this is teacher Franzi together with
And teacher
And
Liza,
this is teacher Tiara.
thank you and God bless.